everybody. Welcome to the Big Roofs Podcast. I'm John Delorier. Today, I have Jay, RoofNuts Bradley, and really quick bio for Jay. Super excited to have him. He's the founder of RoofNuts and the creator of Roof Camp, and he is a visionary entrepreneur that generated nearly $500 million in additional revenue for roofing contractors. Jay, thanks for being here today.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on, man. It's exciting. I've been watching you on TikTok and all over social media with ProLine and everything else, and obviously the exit from the roofing company. So congratulations on that, and excited to talk to you today.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's a fantastic industry. I think that you bring something that's a little different and just really down to earth, helpful for roofing contractors. So I'm excited just to kind of hopefully our audience hears a little bit of that and sees value in what we're talking about today. So let's break down kind of the $500 million revenue. We'll talk about that. Yeah. How do we get there?
Yeah. So when I initially got into the industry, I was a door knocker, just knock doors. I'm top heavy, so getting on a roof was not an option for me. So they called me downspout daddy back in the day. And so I just stayed on the ground. I stayed very grounded, right? And what happened, though, was just, I guess, subconsciously or what have you, what ended up happening was I got really, really good at knocking doors. And I'm ambitiously lazy, John. That's just my life. Like, I wake up every day, like, dragging my butt out of bed. Like, I'm not waking up slamming protein shakes, running, 6 miles every morning. That's just not my life, right? I don't do that. And so I think there's a common misconception that unless you wake up every morning doing that, and I'm not knocking that at all. I think it's great for people to do that. But I think some people think that success is for those people. And in my eyes, success is not for the few, the chosen few. It's for the few who choose, right? And you can define success however you want to. And so for me, I just got really, really good at knocking doors. And then I got really good at building door-to-door teams. And so that's where I helped a lot of companies 2, 3, 4 times their revenues. And we early on, I was a door knocker for a company in Mobile, Alabama, did really well. And then I had a commercial deal fall through with that company. Unfortunately, the guy I was working for didn't have the right paperwork, lost a bunch of commission. But I knew I had a skill they can never take away, which was knocking doors. And so I started RoofNuts. And I just started knocking for local roofing contractors. Here's a lead, give me $1. All right, here's a lead, give me $1. Just real basic stuff. And grew that to a team of about 15 knockers. Today, we've got about roughly that around the country that go knock for roofing contractors during storm damage. So that's the first part of RoofNuts. The second part of RoofNuts was we added a call center. When I was knocking, we used to run call center leads all the time. And I just felt like there was a different way, challenge the status quo. And I knew what I wanted. I wanted to have a picture of the house on the email. I wanted to have the storm swath on the email. I wanted to have the storm date on the email. I wanted to have all the things, everything I needed in my hand. And so we created RoofNuts call center. We did that in 2001. And that has really helped us tremendously with gross revenues. That's our number one cash producer right now for RoofNuts. And then also in 2001, randomly, a guy in Atlanta from Humboldt Roofing and Restoration, his name's Dean.
Oh, I know Dean. I know Dean. Yeah, I've not met him, but he has a great reputation.
Yeah, man, great people. In Mobile, I had helped a couple companies. Like I took one company from 12 contracts a month on average to 72 contracts a month just by building their door-to-door teams. And Dean, so I don't know how you are, but have you ever taken the love language test?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you in the love language? Do you remember?
Oh, I'm words of affirmation all day long.
Okay. So that's me, right? I'm words of affirmation and physical touch. And so while nobody in roofing I would allow to touch me, I certainly let people tell me good things. And so when you're out knocking doors, it's really tough. So when I was out knocking initially for RoofNuts, I didn't have anybody with me. There wasn't anybody there. Like, I think that's the part that some of the sales reps don't understand these days is like, to go start a business, sometimes you're alone and you're in the trenches by yourself. And, some of the sales reps I go talk to today don't understand the hardships that their owners had to go through to get to where they are. And so I try to reiterate that. But back then I was just doing little videos on Facebook and putting them in the groups and talking about my trials and tribulations. And what that was doing was just people were rooting me on. And the industry itself was telling me, man, you can do it. Here's how I handle that objection. This is what I do for this. And it was really a way for me to kind of talk to the community, learn, have some social interaction, and get words of affirmation at the end of the day. Because I wasn't getting it from home, because there's no way she could ever understand what it was really like to go out there and beat doors. And so started doing that, and that turned into me being on social media. And Dean calls me in 2021 and goes, hey, man, I love what you're doing. I'd love for you to come and talk to my team. And at the time, he was just sort of kind of in the second year, getting started. Everything was going well. So I showed him how to build his door-to-door team. And now I will tell you this, I was a small piece of what they ultimately ended up to being. Dean gives me a lot more credit than what I probably should get at this point, but so proud of them and proud of where they went. Now that has spun off into about 6 or 8 different companies that are all, doing multiple 7 figures, and just proud of what we started. It does suck that the team got dismantled a little bit, but I think looking back on it, I had a conversation with Dean yesterday, and just looking back and going, look at how many men's and families' lives that you've changed just by what you did. And that's what he's all about. That's his personality. And that's my personality too, right? How many people can we change? What can we do? How can we help people? And then subsequently from that, word of mouth, I never really did any. This is the first year really that I've put my coaching out there. I've never really told anybody about my coaching, or I don't even like saying coaching. It's just me. I'm not a coach. I'm just a dude that used to do stuff that now you're best, you're best qualified to help the person you were before. And if you're out knocking doors in the roofing industry, I was in your shoes at one point in time. That's it. And so now I just go around and I want to help all those people and help their families. I don't have kids, John. So we tried for the longest time and just never were able to. We lost a couple, and so it's been bad. And so for me now, I look at my companies that I work with, and those are my kids, man. That's my legacy. It's like, let's go. What can I do? How can I help you? How can I change your life? And so that's kind of, I guess, my story of how I help people and how I've helped so many get to the level. And 500 million is probably low, but I'm a modest kind of guy. So,
well, I think it's important that people know about that, because from my perspective, you told the story how I perceived you online, and it's good for me, and it's good for people to see, like, hey, this is what you do. This is like the value that you bring. And it really is helpful, because there's not a lot of people that do it the way you do it. And there's not a lot of people that have like the humility that you do. And everybody's like, join my thing and we'll make you, $100 million company overnight. That's usually the pitch. So it's really, really good to hear about RoofNuts and about the call center. Like, I don't think people knew that very, very well. So Roof Camp, let's talk about that. Is that what you're talking about, or is it something else?
So I have Roof Camp, which is east of the Mississippi River, and then west of the Mississippi River, I do Raise the Roof. And it's just because partnerships. So east of the Mississippi, I'm with Elijah Mum, and I said his name wrong forever. For almost a year, I said his name wrong. So
nice.
Mum, I'm getting it right this time. And then Reggie Brock, who's the legendary Reggie Brock. We're partners in this side of it. And then in Texas, I'm partners with a gentleman named Billy Cox, who is my coach. He's my mentor. And actually, I just got off stage at the Next Level event with him for the movement, and got to be in the green room with Les Brown and a lot of just amazing people. And I have a passion for speaking. I'm not the best in the world at it. I think my whole deal is if I can make you laugh, but then it sticks, that's what it's all about. Some people, they tell a story to have it resonate and do all this stuff. If you're laughing during my talk, there's usually a point behind that laugh that's going to stick, and that's what I shoot for. And so Billy's helping me with that. And then so Raise the Roof, or Roof Camp itself, started in 2023 in Atlanta. small group. Dean was there. I had Dean speak. I had, a few other people come and talk, and I think there were 60 people there, and it was a really good event. Then I kind of took off. 2024, you're probably in this position too. Like, there was a year where I just kind of sat back and enjoyed the hard work. And 2024 was the hard work year. Sit back. I went whitewater rafting, fishing, vacationing, doing the things. And, RoofNuts had gotten to the point to where if I started messing with it, I was messing things up more than helping.
Yep.
So, but then in November 2024, I went with Coach Michael Burt, got on a jet plane, and realized that that's the way I want to travel from here on out for the rest of my life. So if I'm going to do that, I got to figure out how to make money. And, but it just reignited a fire inside of me to do roof camp again. The original reason that I started roof camp, I was in network marketing for a really long time with a company called World Ventures. It was a travel company. I enjoyed it. It was about personal goals and development more. It was about anything else. And when I would go to, and I'm not knocking a lot of people think I'm knocking the conferences when I say these things. There's a reason to have RoofCon and Roof Processing Conference, and all of those major events need to happen for the industry to be strong together. And I get it. But those events are for the owners, right? Those events are for the people that are just, they've already made it, or they're owners, or you're trying to pitch stuff from stage or whatever. And I wanted to create an event for a guy or a gal that started 3 days ago, or have been in the business for 3 months, or have been in for 10 years and just need to reignite. And so this is about this is about the sales reps. And it was really hard for us to get sponsorships, because I would tell them, I'm like, this is not for owners. This is 100%. I think I spoke with you a little bit about it. It's like, this is for reps. Like, we're doing this for reps, by reps, for reps. This is what it's all about. And we want to make sure that they get value whenever they leave. I don't want just a pitch from stage and hopefully, now we all got QR codes, and sure, you can come get in our mentorship and whatever else, but I want actual sure enough value whenever you leave that place. And so it's just different. It's really a training more than a conference. It's more like you're really getting trained. We really give you nuts and bolts. And, we had legendary Jim Johnson in Birmingham. Holy cow. Jim dropped some nuggets that were just next level. It was just crazy, And then I brought in Bethany Webster Grant from a completely different industry, just so people could hear from somebody else that is still in commission base, is still going through the struggle, and is still doing sales, but it's just in a different industry. In her industry, there's no way that she can make what a roof salesperson can make. But just hearing her story and what she does. And she's been my mentor since 2012. She's an amazing woman. And, so just trying to really bring value to sales reps.
I love that.
Here's how roofers make it home for dinner every single night without losing a single sale, even when they're one-man shows. Automate your communication with ProLine, the only communication-first CRM for roofers. Because when you fix your communication, you'll sell more jobs. Your weekends will smell more like sunscreen and backyard barbecues than that crappy gas station coffee. And all you got to do is ask these roofers.
Where we had about 200% growth, and I attribute that to incorporating ProLine.
But just with one automation, I was able to get 25 Google reviews.
It's been absolutely insane how quickly we were able to grow.
Now, ProLine's not going to win the beauty pageant, but it will save your Saturday. Now, back to the show.
Our values align a lot, because when I started my business, it was just me, just out there. We didn't do a lot of door knocking because we didn't have a lot of storms. In Athens, Georgia, it's like crazy. Actually, you think you went to Athens recently. They had storms somewhat recently, but like I grew up there, and we have a storm every 17 years or something like that. And, but my point is, like, you're by yourself and you have to figure out a way. It was mainly retail, but you have to figure out a way to make it happen. So that's really where ProLine was birthed out of. It's like the one-man show that wants to make himself really efficient. And it was for sales reps first. And so then as I added sales reps to my team, I wanted them to benefit. It wasn't about the owner or the manager that's like, oh, I can look out over my little minions and do it. It was more like, oh, the sales reps like to use this because it makes them more effective and they can sell more roofs. And that's really like, we kind of reverse engineered it from what most software does. Is like, they're always like manager, big core, they're doing the operation size, and we do that really well. But at the end of the day, we wanted an app first. So it was, because you're in your truck and you're out there knocking doors, or you're out there selling in neighborhoods. I wanted that part of it first, so that it would go up the line, and then the managers would be happy because they're performing well. And that's a huge, I think that we align a lot with that, because I do think that, like you said, I like the conferences. I got a lot of real value, and really shifted my mindset and actually changed my business as an owner for those big conferences. But until recently, I had never been to like a sales rep. Shout out to Top Rep and Chuck Toki. Like, that was a game changer for my mind, because I was a vendor there, but I was watching it all happen. And I was like, this is so awesome, because like 70% of the people here are just sales reps, and they're just learning. And that's a huge need. Like, there's such a huge need in our industry to help exactly how you're helping, because there's not a lot of training, and owners are notorious for not training too. So if you have somebody who can help you like 3 days in, 3 months in, all that really actually help them give a real workshop, not just like, hey, let's look at this breakout session or watch this speaker on stage. Like, those can be helpful, but real workshops are there's not a lot of them out there for the roofing industry.
It's funny when I go around, the owners that I work with a lot of times are the ones that do train, but it's just like your kids, right? You can't be a prophet in your own land.
Yeah.
And so while I may come in and say things, I probably say what they say on a regular basis. Like, but because I'm not the one that's there all the time, I'm not the parent, then I'm like the uncle that comes in and the kid's like, did you hear what Uncle Jay said? It's like, yeah. Like, I've been saying that for like 3 months, bro. So I encourage, owners all the time. It's like, if there are guys like me that you can get in every 90 days to come and talk to your team, we see those teams when you go around the country and you see teams that are laser focused, that are doing things, they do 90-day runs. I mean, it's just the way it is. They do 90-day runs. They work quarter to quarter, and they're trying to go through they systematically break down the year. No matter whether there's storms or not, they figure it out, right? They're going to go hit these numbers no matter whether there's a storm or not. And a lot of times we rely so much on storms. You made it happen without a storm. You made it happen. You had retail. You did the thing you needed to do to go make it happen. And so setting those expectations, but a lot of times the fire starts to die off after 90 days or even 60 days. But if you have somebody like myself, Becca, Adam, not that I'm putting myself on those pedestals, but like, if you have somebody that can come and re-engage your team every 90 days, we see a huge influx. The company that I was working with, Black Dog, over in Athens. Yeah. I mean, normally they get, a few leads. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I mean, we almost doubled their lead generation in a half a day comparative to what they do in a full day, just based off of their energy more than anything else. I mean, I gave them some skill, but I don't think they were able to implement the skill that I gave them that moment, right? I think it was more about the energy and the excitement.
Yeah, it's true. But that's value. You're still getting the results, because you're right. I mean, it's exhausting no matter if you're retail or insurance. Like, getting out there and grinding every day at the thing you're supposed to do is hard to do. So having those like little injections of energy is wildly valuable, because your team's whole culture changes for the time that you're with that individual. So it's really awesome. I love that. Kind of moving, let's just talk about what you know and what you've been talking about. But like, what are the top 3 things that you look for a sales process to improve? Or like, what are the top 3 things you see that can improve, and the top 3 things that you love once the result is over? If you've been with, let's say, Black Dog, what are some things that you see when you leave that like, here's some tools to move forward after I'm gone?
Yeah. So I think a lot of what I leave is, first of all, let's talk about the owners, right? So when I leave the owners, I give them a process on how to hire people that I think is different than any other. And I tell people this. I just had a video that came out that it's called abs. And I kind of make a joke about it. I say I do the funny stuff. It's like, you learn abs for me. Obviously I'm 300 pounds. Nobody wants to learn how to get abs for me. But I think the thing is, there's just certain things that are controllable, which is number one, first and foremost, is your attitude, right? And so if you can control your attitude and have a good attitude, then you can pretty much do anything in life that you want to do. I'm pretty sure that I could go make money, selling rubber dog turd out of Hong Kong tomorrow if I wanted to, because I have a good attitude, right?
Yep.
So attitude then leads to belief. If you have a good attitude, you can lead to belief. And belief just simply means that it's something that is going to happen without proof currently, right? You just know it's going to happen, but we just don't have the proof of it currently. I just heard that from Garrett Unkelbach in Dallas this weekend. I thought that was just so good. And then if you have belief in yourself and belief in the industry, you will take time to learn the skill. And a lot of times the owners are looking for skill before they're looking for the other two or trying to build the other two. And so, you see the culture, like Black Dog's culture is very much what Humble's culture was, right? They have some of the same leaders, but there's just this unbelievable of, somebody's got your six, you know what I mean? Like, it's just an unbelievable culture. And if somebody comes in with a bad attitude into that culture, man, they kick them out quick. Like It's gone. And so I think a biggest thing is I try to resonate with the sales reps is you are fully in control of your attitude every day when you wake up. And it's up to you to figure out, what you're going to do with it. And so, I would wake up when I was knocking doors. Back then, I was going to Culver's ice cream every day to get ice cream. I'd go get a scoop of ice cream. When I first got in the roofing industry, I'd gotten to a point in my life where I needed to get things done. I need to go make $150,000 a year. And the guy that I was working for, I said, man, how do I make 150? He said, you go get 15 leads a week. We'll inspect them. You'll make 150. And for me, I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. And I said, if he says 15, I need to go get 25. So I told myself, what am I going to do? Right. So my attitude was, I'm going to go get 25 no matter what. Then I needed to build the belief of like, what does it look like? Like, how does that go? And so for me to build belief, I had to trick the idiot inside of me. There's an idiot on one side and an ambitious guy on the other side. And the idiot's always like, dude, we should go play golf. It's such a nice day. Like, we should definitely go play golf today and have a couple beers. Like, you worked hard. You deserve it. And the ambitious guy's like, yeah, but like, we got bills to pay and like, we're trying to do our thing and we got to get ourselves out of this hole that we're in and whatever else. And so what I would do is I'd trick the idiot and said, hey, look, we're not going to do Culver's until we get 25 leads, right? And so then I turned the belief on that I could get 25. No matter what, come hell or high water, I was going to go get 25 leads. So I did it that very first week. I went and did it. And it was 8:00 on Saturday night. I mean, I was dragging. It was dark outside when I finally got the last lead. And the idiot took over my vehicle at that point and drove me straight to Culver's, an hour and 15 minutes from Mobile, Alabama to Foley, Alabama to go get that ice cream. And then what ended up happening was I kept tricking myself every week. And I have a thing, I have the slide whenever I go train now that weeks number 9 and 10, I got 25 leads by Tuesday. I had the belief, which then led to a skill that they can never take away from me. And so now I have a skill that nobody could take away from me. There's no way that you can take the skill of knocking doors away from me. And what is really the skill of knocking doors? It's the skill of conversation. It's the skill of positive persuasion. Persuasion, some people say, is bad, but I think it's a good thing if you're doing it for positive reasons. Mm-hmm. Do I think that them getting a roof over their head through their insurance carrier is better than them paying for a roof out of pocket? Absolutely. So if I can persuade them to do that, that is a good thing. Right. And just all these things that go along with it. So I try to build all of that into them by the time I leave is belief, understanding. Why are you doing this? What are you doing it for? A lot of people, and I'm yapping, I get excited about this stuff, John. I'm so sorry.
It's great.
When you're dealing with young people, if you're an owner out there and you have a bunch of young people on your team, their why is not necessarily going to work. Right. So you and I are older. We have families. You're not as old as I am, but you have a family and you have people you have to support. So what hurts you, right? Your why, you can really define it. right? I want to make sure that my family's taken care of. I want to make sure there's a roof over my head. I want to make sure blah, blah, blah. If you're dealing with 21, 22, 23-year-old kids that are still trying to figure out life, then I suggest because goals, right? I'm going to go hit this because I want this truck. I'm going to go hit this because I want to play golf Thursday. I'm going to go hit this because I want to take my niece to Disney World. And if you work on becauses with the younger folks opposed to the why, I'm 45 years old. I've got more whys than anybody else can. I can make a whole alphabet of whys. So when you're working with younger people, we work with because goals. And I think that's a huge thing that people really haven't touched on with the younger folks is instead of trying to figure out what their why is and what their pain point is and making them cry and all that good stuff, it's like a lot of their needs are a little more like they're so much closer than what you think they are. So because goals are the reasons we do it. So if you're going to sit down and talk to them, I wouldn't talk to them and try to make them cry to get their why. I would try to figure out, why are you trying to do this? Yes, but you're doing this because you're trying to get to here. And then, I guess number 3 is just the effort. Just go do it. Like you have a blank paycheck. Bottom line, you literally, if you're a commission-based roofing salesperson, if it is to be, it is up to me. You have a blank paycheck. Just go get it done. That's just all there is to it.
These are not just nuggets. These are huge things that if people actually implement what you're saying, the sky is the limit. Yeah. I mean, it's trick the idiot. It's a huge thing that I deal with all the time, every single day. I love the abs analogy. That is awesome. Like that is so true. And I definitely agree with you. Like people are looking for the skill first. Like skill, it's like SAB the other way. It's like, no, we need the attitude, we need the belief, and that's something that I think anyone struggles with when they're looking at different people on their team. But yeah, these are amazing, Jay. Like you are definitely doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're definitely it's not just inspiring, but you have the experience and the expertise to actually help. And I'm super happy that you're on today so that people can actually know that, because there's just not a lot of people that have the same mentality and the same belief system, to actually elevate our industry in that specific way. So anything else before we go?
Yeah. I mean, I really appreciate you having me on. It's exciting to see you grow. It's exciting to see ProLine grow. I'm fired up to see the future and how far you guys can go. And, if there's anything we can ever do to help out, I'd love to. And just excited to have you on here. I know you have a bunch of big names on here, and to put little old me on here, man, I really appreciate it. So, just excited, man. Just thank you so much for the time. And, if you're ever around Chattanooga, man, give me a shout. We'll go, have some lunch or something.
I love Chattanooga. So if people are wanting to get a hold of you, what's the way they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So RoofNuts, you can go to roofnuts.com and book a call. All the bookings go to me. It's roofnuts.com/book. Let's jump on a call, see if there's anything I can do for you. I do a lot of one-on-ones and things like that for people that need help. Also look for Roof Camp Lives. I do a free event, and it's not me, right? So Roof Camp, a lot of people will do things like that, and it's like them talking the whole time. The Roof Camp Live webinars, if you see those out, what it is I usually intro, but then I'll have somebody like yourself, a professional in the industry, come and drop a 5-minute nugget, of kind of something that's going on that ends with a question of some sort, right? And then we break everybody out into breakout groups. They have a discussion amongst themselves. They pick a leader. We come back, and then that leader talks about what they discussed in their groups. And for me, it gives the new people a comfortable space to go and ask the questions that, like, I put a post on Hardcore Door to Door the other day about hiring for one of my companies down in Florida. And this guy, like, tore me up and down because he said that I shouldn't be training people because I'd never been on a roof and whatever else. And I'm like, I didn't even respond. I just, I did whatever. But with these, with those areas, it's not necessarily safe space for people to ask the basic questions. Mm-hmm. And for me, I want to be the comfortable space for the folks that, just like I did when I first got started, I had basic questions. And like the people that have been doing this for so long and maybe grew up doing this or forgot what it was like to be there day one, that tear people up for the questions that they ask, just drives me nuts. That's not good for our industry. It's not a good look. It tells me the character of the person that's doing that. I will automatically not bless them and block them, right? That's what it's all about. Amberly Largo said that this past weekend, like bless them and block them. Just for me, it's like if you're in this industry and you feel some type of way and you need help, man, that's what I'm here for. I want to help as many people as I can get to their goals and dreams. So reach out to me, whatever that looks like. I help so many people just, I shouldn't say this, but for free. I mean, I do what I can. I try everything I can. My fiance drives me. She's like, why do you do that? Because you're on the phone all the time. But I love it. That's what it's all about for me. That's what fills up my cup. So
I love it, man. Well, thank you for coming on Big Roofs today. And thanks everybody for watching. Y'all have a great day.
all right.